Y'all, the fact that Trump said that you don't qualify for Section 8 or housing if you're not a veteran or you're not disabled, I don't know when it's going into effect, but I know it has been talked about and it should be taking place. These landlords, it has sparked up a conversation between these landlords, because these landlords like, hey, hold up. Now, we used to get our money on time every month, regardless of what's going on. See, they gonna pay, Section 8 gonna pay them, and then you gonna pay your little portion of whatever your little portion is. But when you snatch that away, and then people say, all these young mothers, hey man, hey, everybody had an equal opportunity out here to get out here and do something different with their life. Everybody. What if that was never in effect? What if we never had Section 8? What if we never had housing? What if there was never no type of government assistance? Who would you be blaming then? And we ain't just talking about ladies and gentlemen. We talk about them landlords as well. What would you do then?
Welcome back to our channel, AI Crystal. We're glad to have you here, especially our returning subscribers. If you're new, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe so you never miss thought-provoking content like this. Today, we're diving deep into a critical issue. Did Donald Trump cut Section 8 housing? If so, how extensively, and what did it really mean for low-income Americans? Let's unpack the facts, the policies, and the politics. Stay with us. What is Section 8? Before we go further, a quick primer. Section 8, officially known as the Housing Choice Voucher Program, is designed to help low-income families, the elderly, and people with disabilities afford decent, safe, and sanitary housing in the private market. These are not just handouts. Many recipients pay a portion of their rent, with the voucher covering the rest.
So let me get this straight. The guy with gold toilets wants to end Section 8? So the Trump administration is now floating the idea of cutting Section 8. You know, the program that keeps grandma from living in her car or a mother with children living in a shelter. But wait, billionaires get tax breaks the size of Texas, and that's all cool. But helping people afford a one-bedroom? Socialism. This ain't about budget, y'all. It's about punishment. Nothing says make America great again like making the poor homeless and building more golf courses at Mar-a-Lago. The cherry on top is some of you are actually out here cheering this on. Like you ain't got a voucher in your cousin's name and a P.O. box in your aunt's zip code. Be serious. Should your landlord be a politician too? Or should we start actually voting like housing matters? Because rich people ain't playing. They want everything.
There will be a huge budget cut to Section 8 housing, and it will only be available to the elderly, veterans, or the disabled. I 100% agree with this because there are a lot of people that are abusing Section 8 housing, although they are able to get up and go to work and make money. And it's taking away from the people who actually are in need of housing assistance. Disabled people who cannot take care of themselves physically deserve Section 8 housing. Veterans, more than anybody, deserve Section 8 housing. People who served and fought for our country. And then people over 55 years of age or older, elderly people who cannot provide themselves with independent care deserve Section 8 housing. If you have no physical limitations, you need to get up and get a job like the rest of us. Work hard and get your own place.
So I seen this lady. I scrolled and I seen this lady. And when I say the first couple of seconds, I felt so bad for her because she was literally crying, y'all. She was crying, and then I'm like, she didn't say anything. And then next thing you know, she been on Section 8 for 24 years. She just seen what Trump is initially trying to do. I think it's supposed to take effect in 2026. So in 2026, they're saying the start of 2026, you get 2 years to be on Section 8. And after that, you can never get it again, basically. So, she pretty much was crying and all of that. But y'all, why she say she been on Section 8 for 24 years? She literally was like, I've been on this since I was 18 years old. I'm a single mom. I've, raised all my kids. She was like, I got 3 left. She was like, I'm in my 40s. Yeah, he just think it's so easy. She was like, he just think it's so easy for us to just pick up and just get a new career and this, this, her, and that. Because she's a single mom, my heart goes out to her. But 2 years, and then a lot of people was asking in the comments, like, you know, half was like they agree with what Trump said and the other half don't. So I'm gonna leave this here. I do not agree with 99% of what that orange ass man said. That ain't my president. I didn't vote for that bitch. I voted for the opposite side. But I will say this. On this particular topic, I'm with him 60-40. And the only reason why I say that is because he said 2 years. I think they should give people longer than that. Me and my husband literally was just talking about this like a week ago. And my husband was like, they should give them, I think he said 3 years. 3 years to get their shit together, and then they got to get off of it. I don't personally agree with 3 years. I think he said 3 or 4. Don't quote me on it. But I said longer than what he said. I said I think it should be 5, because initially to go back to school, if you want to go back to school or go get a trade. Now, if you go get take a trade and this and that, of course it's going to be less of the time to find something that you actually want to do. But if you want to go back to school, then I say give them 5 years, because 4 years initially to go to school, actually get the degree, and then 1 extra year after they get done with their degree to actually find something in their career path that they went for, to be able to start actually making a life for themselves. So that's why I said I feel like 5 years is a good ample amount of time for anybody to be on Section 8. You should be able to save up, do everything you need to do. And the lady, I'm like, she's literally crying to me. She's been on there 24 years. You are one of the reasons why he trying to do this stupid ass shit. It's because people don't typically get on Section 8 or housing and food stamps and all. People don't typically get on Section 8 and stuff like that. Get the resources that they're giving you. Save your money. Like, after a few years on that, you should be able to buy you a house. Whether it's a small house, a big house, however you want. You should be able to save, or if not, buy you a house, because everybody don't want to be homeowners. You should be able to at least save your money, branch out on your own, have savings if something goes wrong or whatever, get a job and financially take care of you and your kids. So I agree with some of it, but I don't physically agree with all of it. And she literally, when I say she was crying, she was crying. And I'm like, 24 years is a long time. But then when you go to her page, and I'm like, I don't want to judge God on that. I don't want to judge. But then when you go to her page, you see she taking extravagant trips. And she's been out the country. Last year, 2024 alone, she went out the country like 3 times. Then when you look on there, you see all these shopping sprees, nails, wigs. That shit expensive, baby. I'm a woman. I know. Wigs, that shit is expensive. Eyelash set, this woo. But you telling me you're crying on here. Literally, you can't afford to pay your rent on your own. But you can afford to go out the country 2-3 times a year. The average working person, the average household cannot afford to go out of town 3-4 times a year, let alone out the country. So you're telling me you can afford that. You can afford all this different stuff. You can afford standing in line to get Jordans and all these different stuff, but you can't afford your rent wherever you're staying by yourself. No. That is the reason why they're sitting here saying, that is the reason why that orange ass man is saying what he's saying, because some people take advantage of it. That is not what those services are used for. And then it really hurts, because like the people that really need the services, they are unable to use it. And I'm going to just say this right here. I'm going to go with the homeless every day, all day. Anybody that's homeless, that's like my one project. If I became rich, I would help. I would do my best to try my best to cut down on the homelessness. Literally, I really feel for homeless people, because winter outside in the cold is awful. Summer in this heat It's awful. Nobody should ever be homeless. Period. Point blank. Nobody. So I feel like those are the people that need those resources. All these homeless people sleeping on sidewalks and stuff like that. Those are the ones that need that stuff. You motherfuckers with the jobs and taking your money to do what you want to do with it, travel, and eat steak, lobster, all this shit. Like, you going out to dinner 5 times a week, buying out food 5 times. Like, those people traveling overseas, spending your money just frivolously and not really thinking about the future and this stuff. Everything, this world is not staying the same. Everything is not staying the same. Everything is fucking changing. And yeah, no. I would take homeless people any day. And those people are the ones that really need those services, not the people that's been on it for 15, 20, 25 years. No, if you haven't got off Section 8 after 5, I'm going to say at least 5 to 6 years, and you haven't did anything, that means you're content with being where you are in life. You're content with letting somebody else pay your bills for you. You're content. And don't get me wrong. If you get, the government been fucking over on us. If you can fuck over them a little bit, then go ahead. But it shouldn't be okay to do it. We to my long lifetime. Like, you could tell the way she was saying it, that you intended on doing this for the rest of your life. Like, you say you've been on there 24 years. You intended to do this for the rest of your life. That is insane to me. Period, point blank. So, the fact that this right here, maybe this will get a lot of people, and I don't agree with that orange ass man, but this one specific thing, maybe that will get a lot of motherfuckers off their ass to actually go to work and be able to figure out what job, what career I want to do. What do I want to work with a company and stick with it and move up in the company. Maybe that'll actually help that. I don't know, but we'll see.
So the Trump administration recently proposed to cut the Section 8 housing program, as well as any other housing voucher program. And this came as a result of them trying to cut rental aid by 40% during a proposal that they put out. I even seen within this proposal, they said they wanted to put a 2-year cap on rental aid for able-bodied adults. So that's a cap, so people can't, I guess, take advantage of the programs. Now, of course, this is going to affect people who are, who participate in the program, who utilize the program for affordable housing, but it is really going to impact as well real estate investors that utilize Section 8 program. Because you invest in certain location, it's hard for you to get your rental income. Instead of going through that path, you try to go through this program because it can kind of quote unquote guarantee your income. Well, your portfolio may be impacted by this. And this is why you got to put yourself in a position to pivot when things like this happens, because we all are subject to regulatory risk. That's why a lot of companies and stuff lobby, because they know the power of that pen. Whoever has the power to pass a law or regulation can completely dismantle your business, your portfolio, or whatever activity you're doing. So real estate investors that utilize Section 8, be prepared for this impact to your potential portfolio and make adjustments.
I personally don't agree with a lot of things Trump is saying, but this one specific thing makes sense to me. To all the people that's on Section 8, he is giving y'all 2 years to get on your feet. Trump said stop being dependent and become independent. I agree. I'm not no hating ass bitch. I'm not knocking nobody's situation. But if you really think about it, Section 8 is only to assist you to get on your feet. Section 8 is a stepping stone to get you on your feet. Section 8 is not something you should depend on for the rest of your life. Government assistance is not something you should depend on for the rest of your life. Keyword, assistance, to assist you. Y'all done got too comfortable. There's people that's been on Section 8 for like 10 plus years. That's a long time. Within that amount of time, you should have a lot of money saved up in your bank account, in your savings account. Y'all too busy buying the newest shoes, buying the hottest cars, trying to keep up with the trend, buying designer purses, buying designer clothes, but you're in public housing. If you can buy designers, you can pay your house rent without assistance. Let that sink in. If you can buy designers, you can pay your house rent without assistance. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of single mothers out here also that need those type of assistance. But if you just comfortably living off Section 8 and don't care, that's crazy to me. That's the reason why nobody else can get in, because y'all be on Section 8 for years. Y'all not thinking outside the box. Y'all being so dependent. Stop being so dependent and let's become independent.
Theoretically, if I have 6 kids, or 7, or 8, or 9, or 4 kids and up, and I have a Section 8 voucher, and maybe I have qualifications and maybe I don't, depending on when I started having children, maybe at 16 or 15 or 17. Hypothetically speaking, you work a 9 to 5 that pays you $22 an hour. You got 5 kids and up that are all mixed between genders. So some of them need their own room, different ages. Section 8 says, I'm going to give you a voucher for $3,900 a month. You can get up to a 5-bedroom with that voucher. 4 at minimum, because of codes and regulations. Your rent's going to be 30% of that $2,900 or $3,900. So she's left paying $300 out of her paycheck for rent. For a 5-bedroom house, that's market rent is $4,500. She would never be able to pay $3,900 with that many kids and school fee if she gets off Section 8. She can't see a light at the end of the tunnel, but why would I get off? If I have another kid, they're going to increase my voucher, and I'll get more rooms.
Throughout Donald Trump's presidency 2017 to 2021, his administration repeatedly proposed budget cuts to the Department of Housing and Urban Development HUD, which oversees Section 8. For example, in 2018, Trump proposed over $6 billion in HUD cuts, including reductions to public housing capital funds and voucher programs. In 2020, he proposed a 15% cut to HUD, again threatening Section 8 assistance. While Congress ultimately rejected many of these cuts, the consistent effort to shrink funding sent a clear policy message. Public assistance programs like Section 8 were not a priority. Push for rent hikes. HUD Secretary Ben Carson, under Trump, also pushed for a plan to raise rent contributions from Section 8 tenants from 30% of their income to 35%, while removing deductions for childcare and medical expenses. This would have made housing less affordable for the very people the program is meant to help. Policy versus politics. Was it all cut? To be clear, Trump did not eliminate Section 8, and many of his proposed budget cuts were blocked by bipartisan efforts in Congress. However, the proposed reductions and policy shifts signaled a more market-driven, less supportive stance on housing affordability. Critics argue that these efforts undermined long-term housing stability and increased pressure on local governments and nonprofits. The bigger picture: housing insecurity in America. During Trump's term, rents continued to rise and wage growth for low-income workers didn't keep up. HUD's own report showed millions of families remained on waiting lists for housing vouchers, with some waiting up to 10 years. By proposing to cut funding and raise costs for the poor, critics say the Trump administration widened the housing gap, while supporters argued for fiscal responsibility and reducing dependency on federal aid. Let's talk. What do you think? Did Trump's housing policies help streamline government spending, or did they put struggling families at risk? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Like if you learned something new, share this with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe to AI Crystal for more eye-opening content.